Well, we want to go from Pennsylvania all the way out to Texas, another very important state in this race. And we have another congressional candidate we want to bring into the program, Dr. Ronny Jackson. He is also a former White House physician. Dr. Jackson, we want to talk to you about what is going on with Joe Biden, because people keep asking, why is Joe Biden hiding? And he seems to be hiding right now. Don't you? Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And I think based on some of the stuff that he does when he gets out there, it's probably best that they keep him in hiding, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, we have to really address this at this point. This is being covered up. His cognitive inability is being covered up in much the same way that the Hunter Biden stuff's being covered up by the press and by social media. But now we've heard him talk about, you know, running for the Senate when he's running for president, being in, you know, Pennsylvania, Ohio when he's in the other state. And now yesterday, you know, we saw some stuff where he doesn't know who he's running against. He's talking about running against President Bush. Something's wrong here, and I think that it's the Democrats have a responsibility to the country to address this now. We've passed the breaking point on this. This man cannot be our president and our commander-in-chief.
Yeah, they're not going to do that, though, Doctor. You know that. They're not going to come out. I mean, in fact, back when you were the White House physician, they attacked you because you gave President Trump a good bill of health, and they said, well, you know, he's obese and he's this and he's that. Be that as it may, he's running around doing 3 and 4 rallies a day right now.
Yeah.
He's got vigor, he's got vitality, and he's out there and he's pounding the pavement like a presidential candidate. Joe Biden, I think, has called a lid, if you will, in 8 out of the last 10 days. It's not just mental acuity. Does he have the stamina and the strength to do what it takes? Remember the Hillary Clinton ad. If the phone rings at 3 o'clock, who do you want to answer it? Well, in Joe Biden's case, I want somebody to answer it.
Right.
Is that fair?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's absolutely fair. He doesn't have the physical or the cognitive stamina for this job right now, to be honest with you. And you can compare him to President Trump, and there's just really no comparison. And I will tell you that you're right. They're not going to address this now, but they will be addressing this. God forbid he becomes president. Within a month or two of him becoming president, this is going to come up again. There was this issue that came out with Nancy Pelosi and the 25th Amendment a few weeks back, and everybody thought that was directed at President Trump. I'm telling you, that was something that they're laying out there so that they can go back, God forbid he becomes president, and fall back on that and say that was something they were talking about in the Trump administration that they will use to remove him from office. They cannot be comfortable with his performance.
It's shocking, but that is what we've heard. This is a way to get him out and get the more progressive person in, which I certainly hope would not be the case. But honestly, when we're talking about court packing and everything else, I think anything is in play. I want to head to Texas. Tell us what's going on in Texas. Last time we talked, there were some problems with voter fraud, but it seems like maybe that's been cleared up. What are you hearing there on the ground?
No, I think we've got that cleared up. I'm not really that worried about that in Texas right now. I am worried about that in some of the other swing states like Pennsylvania, about what's going to happen there. But in Texas, we're doing well. There is incredible enthusiasm on the ground for President Trump right now. I've never seen anything like it. It's way more than it was in 2016. I think this is going to be a big win for him in Texas. I think as long as this race is legitimate and it's not stolen with unsolicited mail-in ballots in the swing states, President Trump's going to have a really big night, and we're going to have a big win. And I'm really confident of that based on what I see on the ground here.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Ronny Jackson here with us. The folks on the left would have you believe that Texas is in play. I don't believe that. I don't believe Georgia is in play either any more than it was in 2018. And so as I look at Texas, it's going to remain red. Of course, the goal for the Democrats is to turn Texas blue, and that would be the end of elections as we know them for a very long time to come. But out there on the ground, though, let's be honest. Texas is still Trump country. It's still Republican country. It's still conservative. It's still America.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. We really are America here. And what used to, with the entire country used to represent, you still find that here in Texas. And you're right, Texas is not going to be blue anytime soon. I think that there are a lot of states out there that are being discussed right now that aren't going to go the way of the Democrats, because I think President Trump has a really aggressive, fired up base, and more of his base is going to come out both this time than last time. But I think there are a large number of people out there that may not like the president. They may not like what he says. They may not want him to be their president and don't want to vote for him, but they're going to go into that voting booth. They're going to pull that curtain and they're going to vote for Donald J. Trump, because the alternative is scaring people in this country to death.
Well, we're expecting you to be a congressman here in just a little over a week now, but tell us just quickly about your campaign and where people can find you.
Yeah, my campaign's going great. And if you want to look up and learn a little bit more about it, you can go to www.ronny, R-O-N-N-Y, Jackson, F-O-R-T-E-X-A-S, 13.com. Ronny Jackson 4 Texas 13.com. And you can find out all about it there. But we're doing great out here.
That's wonderful.
Hear,
well,
Doctor.
we intend to have you
it.
back.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dr. Ronny Jackson, former White House physician.